Hi everyone, good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Well, I'd like to introduce myself. Probably some of you are new friends here. My name is Eddie Panjaitan. I'm the founder and CEO of Panda Piano Course. And tonight we have an event we call Panda Piano Corner. So what's the event about? Panda Piano Corner is designed with piano students, piano teacher, and music lovers in mind. We are extremely excited and enthusiastic and would love to share and inspire through our varied program. We host a number of different international speakers from all over the corners of the globe who share their knowledge, motivation, and experiences answering specific questions you might have. So for tonight's event, uh, this is our fourth webinar, international webinar, and this session is specially designed for masterclass of a piano composition. So, without further ado, I'd like to tell you a little bit about our wonderful speaker tonight. He is Mark Matthews, an Australian prominent composer. Mark comes from Wollongong, New South Wales, Australia. Mark composed over 20 piano albums, national winner of the Yamaha Keyboard Festival, teacher and performer. He also supports the Red Card charity with his music mascot Sebastian. Wonderful. Well, another thing that he is also a civil engineer, another and radio presenter. That's fabulous. So, without further ado, I'd like to call Mark Matthews and please give your best applause. Hi, Mark.
Hi, Eddie. Thank you for that very warm invitation. Can I just say how much I love your Facebook name, Eddie R. Beethoven. That's a great
Yeah,
So,
that's unique.
hello, everybody. So my name's Mark Matthews, and if you've never heard an Australian accent before, you're hearing one tonight. It's not Austrian, but it's Australian. So,
Right.
yeah, lovely to be with you. Our topic tonight is called Piano Compositions, Snaps, Claps, Taps, and Other Tricks. What will those tricks be? Stay tuned to find out tonight. And actually, at the end of tonight, there'll be a little competition. That's someone a free session with me on piano composition. So, I'm from Wollongong, Australia, and this is my trusty music mascot, and his name is Sebastian, and he's 15 years of age. He has 4 albums written in his honor. He's a superhero, as you can see by his sparkly cape. Have a look at this in the light. How amazing does that look? And my colleague, Margaret, up in Queensland, Australia, and she'll be putting some comments in. There she is now, popping a comment. She made the cape for superhero Sebastian. She's 2,000 kilometres away from here. So I'm very excited to be a part of this. You may recall Sydney, the capital of our state that I live. So I live 80 kilometres south of Sydney, where the 2000 Olympics happened, of course. So in the chat, you might like to tell us where you're from and what time is it where you are as well, because it's 11 p.m. here. Yep, just 1 hour before midnight in Wollongong on the east coast of Australia. So I'm going to ask Eddie to show a photograph of where I am in Australia and where he is in Jakarta. And you'll actually see the map. If we were to take a flight, if we could take a flight, which we will soon, I hope, there we go. Flying from Sydney all the way to Jakarta. What is that, 6 hours, Eddie? And here we are talking together over the World Wide Web. I should also mention that there's a fabulous book, and I'll just show you this book now, if you can see this in my feed. Eddie and I are co-authors in this particular book. And this is where we met. It's called The Power of Why 25 Musicians Composed a Legacy. Eddie's chapter is fantastic. There's 25 great chapters in it. It's a great book. I'd suggest you purchase this one, and also support Eddie in his writing. It's beautiful. The second photo we're about to show you tonight is where I'm sitting during daytime. And you can see I'm just about 1 kilometre away from the ocean. It's quite inspiring where my grand piano sits here near the window. I just love it here and enjoy composing in Wollongong. It doesn't look like that now. That was 11 hours ago, 11 or 12 hours ago. So tonight, I wanted to show you initially perhaps what my first 20 albums of music were like. And I'll just have a little chat to you about that for a second. And I love melodies. If you're a composer, you're a pianist, you're a teacher, you're a student, I just love a nice contour of a melody sitting over some beautiful harmonies. That's my favorite. And so my first 20 or so albums, I've been searching for melodies, yeah. And so I thought I'd show you some examples of a couple of my pieces. And I need to warn you tonight, my friends, from wherever you may be around the globe, when you listen to my music, you've never heard it before, it may have a tendency to just put you off to sleep because it creates what are called alpha rhythms. It's like a sleep-inducing alpha rhythm generator, and it might make you feel a bit sleepy. Now, that's okay. If you fall asleep while you're listening to these two songs, I will not be offended. Just please keep your snoring below 60 decibels. That would be lovely. So this first piece of music comes from an album entitled The Heart and Soul Anthology. And the link for that you're about to see in the chat. And the front page looks a little bit like that when you go to the website. And this is published through Australian publishers called Wirrapang, which just live about 1 kilometre away from me. So this first piece is in the key of A. This particular book has all the keys, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and there's 3 pieces in each, a major, a minor, and a mode of each of those 3. So this first piece is in the key of A, and it's called A Major Reflection. It's based on the interval of the major 7, which I think is the most dissonant of all, because it's not quite resolved to the octave. So you'll hear that major 7 ringing out in this particular piece, and I hope you'll find that that dissonance creates a consonance. So have a listen to one of my previous compositions called A Major Reflection, and this is part of the Heart and Soul Anthology. And I'll have a different shirt on when you're watching this video too. The spinning wheel. Come on, internet, you can do it. Eddie, would you like me to share it perhaps? So that's called A Major Reflection from the Heart and Soul Anthology Volume 1. The next piece is called The Kiss. Now, the great composers, the Liszt, the Chopins, the Tchaikovskys, the Beethovens, the Mozarts, the Prokofievs, they show us the way, don't they? They emulate to us brilliant composition genius. And so we just, I guess, try to absorb what they give us and then from our perspective, perhaps create something fresh. So a technique that many composers in the past have used is where they'll start in a tonic key, let's say a major key, and then go to the relative minor, down the minor third, perhaps come back to the major key, and then transpose up a minor third above, which is even more dramatic than just a tone above. That minor third transposition upwards gives them an amazing lift. So I've copied that in this particular composition. It's called The Kiss, and there's a part in the C theme where I blow kisses to the audience. I always like to start a concert with this particular piece. And when I blow a kiss to you, feel free tonight to blow me back a virtual kiss from wherever you might be around the globe. So this is also with Wirripang Publishing. It's from Music for the Heart and Soul, Opus 1. And this particular piece is called The Kiss. I hope you enjoy this. Just a little excerpt to give you a taste as to what it's like. It starts in the key of E major, then it goes to C sharp minor, and then it lifts up to G major, where the kiss happens. So that's The Kiss, and you'll see the link in the chat, which will take you directly to the sales point for that particular album. And so hopefully those two pieces give you a little indication of how I love to write melodies. And the internet looks like it's kind of speeding up and slowing down a little bit tonight, but I assure you I was playing in tempo. So something happened here in Australia a couple of years ago, and we experienced a drought. Yes, that's Music for the Heart and Soul, Opus 1. That's what the album looks like, that The Kiss came from. So a couple of years ago, we were experiencing this drought, and this went on for quite some time. And we had a very hot summer. We had bushfires, dust storms, and a drought. And I was actually sitting at my piano the day when the drought broke. And I looked out my balcony window, and I saw coming up the coast these clouds, and we hadn't seen clouds for so long, starting to form into this ginormous thunderstorm. And so as this thunderstorm hit, and we call them T-storms here in Australia, and this next album that I'd like to feature for you is from The Wide Brown Land, which is about Australia. And the T-storm actually started writing this piece right here at the piano as the thunderstorm and lightning and thunder rolls were happening. And this is where I'm now moving into a different phase of composition, where I'm using what I call the tactile action technique. Still using the same fingers, but perhaps using fists, elbows, finger snaps, claps, taps, and all sorts of other tricks as well. And this particular piece is written in the bass register quite a lot. You'll hear the thunder rolls, and this is emulated through the fist action and the elbows. I have a wonderful young performer that I've invited to play for us tonight, and he is from Canada. He's the son of one of our wonderful colleagues in Vancouver, Pauline Ray Miller Studios, and his 11-year-old Voxov, and he's going to play for us this piece called T-Storm, and you'll see and hear and I hope feel the energy of the thunderstorm. He's just 11 years of age. Wonderful performer. This is T-Storm from A Wide Ground.
Miller. I'm 11. I am in Calgary, Alberta, and I will be playing
into the performance and into the composition. So we have Video Game Madness. We'll have a look at the front cover of that particular album, and you'll see the link pop up in the chat, and we'll also see the first score. And video games, some of you might have played Minecraft. Yeah, so this is about Minecraft, and one of my cousin's daughters, Michaela, showed me the games. I'd never played it before. And this album features 11 pieces, includes the Zonderman and the zombies, the Enderman, I should say, the ancient temple, the cubes, the creepers, and the smelting pot. And there's also a friends theme all the way through this. So Video Game Madness, a Minecraft adventure. This little piece utilizes the keyboard punch again. And I'd like to introduce you to young Marissa from Sydney, just 80 kilometres north of here. And Marissa is 7 years of age, and she's going to be playing for us Michaela's Minecraft. And you'll see in the score where it actually says to play the fists on the C sharp and the D sharp there on the third beat of the bar. So have a look at Marissa playing Michaela's Minecraft from Video Game Madness, a Minecraft adventure. hope you heard that. So that was a Minecraft, Michaela's Minecraft from Video Game Madness. So that utilized the keyboard punch. Now, from the same album, we utilize the keyboard punch and what I call the splat. And this is where, in the tactile action technique that I want to include in my compositions, it utilizes not just the palm, the hand punch, but it utilizes the flat palm splat. And you'll find in this particular composition, which is entitled Minecraft Madness, you'll see that I've actually scored the bottom 5 black keys to be played with the left hand palm, and then the next octave above, the next 5 black keys played with the right hand palm. And that creates the very last particular chord of the piece. But halfway through, there's also a keyboard punch. Now, a wonderful teacher in Gladesville, Sydney, 80 kilometres north of here, is Suna Flynn. She's a piano teacher, violin teacher, singing teacher, and she has a fabulous little living mascot called Leica with her as well. And I've invited Suna to play for us Minecraft Madness, which includes the keyboard punch and the splat. So this is from Video Game. This is Suna Lau Flynn in Sydney, Australia.
Hi everyone, I'm Suna from Sydney Showcase in Paradise Home Studio. This is our living mascot, Leica the Little Prince. Now Leica has an album from Mark Matthews also, but we actually are presenting a small beginner Minecraft Madness piece. Let's listen to it.
Thank you, Suna. So we're talking about tactile action technique tonight. It's all about context, though. Why are we doing these things? To try and emulate or copy nature, perhaps like the thunderstorm earlier. In this case, with the Video Game Madness, the creepers come along and they can explode next to you if you're not careful about them. And that's what we're emulating or trying to make the sound of on the keyboard using this tactile action technique. The third piece from this particular album, called Video Game Madness, is Zombies and Endermen. And this particular score, I've now utilized what's called the percussive notation or nomenclature. If I've actually specified the notes to play, then I've written them as notes. But if it's a snap, a clap, or a tap, or a thigh slap, then I write it as the cross, like the percussion notation. And you'll see this in the score of Zombies and Endermen. And this particular piece, yeah, so you'll see at the end where it's called, and I'm introducing, ladies and gentlemen, what's called a Cobra Punch. Everyone do a Cobra Punch, like a cobra jumping up. And so that's the end of this particular piece. I hope you enjoy Zombies and Enderman from Video Game Madness, which includes the Cobra Punch. It's a part of our tactile action technique.
In the Minecraft game, I hope that you don't meet the zombies and Endermen. Whoa, just their names sound scary. That's why I'm dressed in my stealth hat, my stealth outfit, and Sebastian's got his superhero cape on, just in case. Zombies and Endermen. Cobra Punch, sure.
Who is that crazy guy? So these are a few pieces from Video Game Madness, and we're talking about tactile action technique tonight to make our performances a little more interesting and certainly engaging for the audience when you're writing a piece of music. So I'd like to now move to another album, and this is entitled Princess Suite. And you'll see the link for this pop up in the chat. Thank you, Margaret. And Princess Suite has 14 pieces, and these are from preliminary to grade 2 level. And you'll see the score there. And the first piece we'll play tonight is called Handstands and Hand Claps. And this utilizes not just the hand claps, but a finger snap. And of course, we recall that the song called Addams Family. Yep, Addams Family, of course, da-da-da-dum, introduced us to the finger snap when we played the piano as a young child. And so it's nothing new, but I'd just like to reintroduce these into our pieces today as tactile action technique. And so this particular album from Black Rock Music features 14 pieces. And I'd like to take you from wherever you are tonight to the Philippines, and let's invite Zujin Umar to perform handstands and hand claps for us tonight from the Princess Suite. This is a grade 1 piece of music. Thank you, Zujin, from the Philippines. So that's from Princess Suite, utilizing hand claps and finger snaps. The next piece utilizes what I call the piano tap. Now you can, by the way, if you can't do a finger snap, and not all of us can do the finger snap, you can make it a tap, make it a thigh slap, bass slap. No, don't do that. Tap the keyboard, tap your toe on the pedal as well, or on the floor perhaps, to make this percussive sound to add to the atmosphere of the piece and the energy of the piece as well. Now, I have two daughters, Sarah and Emily, and I've hosted a few sleepovers at my house over the years. And I've got to say, why do we call them sleepovers? No one sleeps at a sleepover. Oh, yeah. So I've written a piece called Sleepless Sleepover, and this incorporates the tap, which sounds like someone's knocking on the wall next door, or perhaps knocking at the door, asking if they can come to the Sleepless Sleepover. This is part of Princess Suite. Hope you enjoy this particular piece, which is a grade 1 piece, incorporating the tactile action technique. So this is Sleepless Sleepover, utilizes the piano tap.
To introduce you to an album entitled Princess Suite. This is preliminary to grade 2 level. And to introduce you to an album entitled Princess Suite. This is preliminary to grade 2 level. And the piece I'd like to highlight today is called Sleepless Sleepover. And if we're honest, no one sleeps at a sleepover, yeah? In fact, I've written at the start, the instruction, how to play this is restless, just like it would be. Princess Suite is available through the Black Rock Music Store. Hope you enjoy this one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's at the door? They're still arriving.
Sleepless Sleepover from Princess Suite. So we're utilizing tactile action technique in composing tonight. Perhaps another time we can talk more about melodies and harmonies and those aspects of the basics of composition. But let me now lead you to a brand new album, and this is entitled Leica, the Little Prince of Dachshunds. Now, we met Leica earlier when Suna was playing for us the Minecraft Madness piece. He's a lovely little long-haired dachshund, and I met him on his 4th birthday, and he was introduced to Sebastian, my mascot. There's 5 pieces in this set, and this utilizes the finger snap throughout. So you'll see in the score popping up on the screen, it's almost like a catapult in this particular piece. And you'll actually notice that in bar 2, there's a right-hand harmony cluster followed straight away by a finger snap for Leica, score number 7. And so you'll see the right hand, see how it's been scored in the cross, which is the percussion nomenclature. So that's the finger snap. You can't finger snap, you can tap and be imaginative too. Hope you enjoy when Leica met Sebastian. This is a brand new album through Remarkable Music from my website. And I'll show you my website in a little while where you can find these pieces of music. And I think Margaret's just popped that link up there.
Hi from Sebastian and I. Oh, Sebastian's over there too. Recently, I met a little dachshund called Leica, and he's the prince of dachshunds. He has his own Facebook page. He has 700 followers, and on his 4th birthday, he met Sebastian. So I wrote a little piece about their interaction. And what you'll find with this piece is the left hand is Leica, the prince of dachshunds, and the right hand is Sebastian, response to that. Hope you enjoy when Leica met Sebastian. That's from Leica, the Prince of Dachshunds, available through remarkablemusic.net.
So you'll see we're focusing on a preliminary through to grade 2 level complexity with these compositions tonight, introducing tactile action technique to make the compositions just a little more interactive. And it's really great for students that perhaps are very shy, a little bit nervous. This really helps them to gain some confidence because the audience responds to these pieces because of that tactile action. It's just a little point of difference to make the piece more interesting. Now it's time for all of us to do some finger snaps, or if you can't do a finger snap, try a hand clap or a tap, whatever you might like to do. And this piece is from an album called Sebastian Got the Blues, but he's happy about it. This is the 4th album I've written for my music mascot, Sebastian, and this one's all about the blues. There's 3 previous albums, and one of the albums I've written for Sebastian is the Global Challenge, where he saves the ice caps, he saves the forests, saves our streets. He's a moral, environmental crusader is Sebastian, but this particular album has 7 pieces. They're blues pieces. So introducing students at a young age to the blues scales and techniques. Again, you'll see the finger snap comes on beat 2. And what makes this piece interesting now is that because beat 2 is the weak beat and we put the emphasis on the snap on that beat, it really makes the rhythm a little bit more interesting. So let's do our finger snaps. Once the piece starts, we'll snap on the 2nd beat all the way through together from wherever you might be around the globe. This is Doing It Blues from Sebastian's Got the Blues, but he's happy about it.
Hi from Sebastian and I, introducing a brand new album called Sebastian's Got the Blues, but he's happy about it. And there's 7 pieces in this particular album, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, little bits of blues and jazz, kind of cliches and fragments of blues scales and grace notes and all kind of fun stuff. So this one is called Doing It Blues in D blues. 2, 3, 4. Till next time, see ya.
What you'll find with this tactile action technique is it really helps students' rhythms and really helps them with their counting. And they start understanding syncopated beats and accented beats at an early age. Fun as well. So this leads us to our final piece tonight. And this is a composition I wrote with 10-year-old Gabriella. And she bounced into my studio one day and said, "Oh, I got this. I've got a left-hand pattern for a song." And so she played this little left-hand pattern you're about to see. And I wrote the right hand, and we called it Gabby's Gig. So this is a collaboration between myself and Gabby. It's got a finger snap or two, but you'll find the chord progression is interesting. And for another day, perhaps we can discuss how you can improvise to this chord progression. You'll hear it's quite familiar because it's very similar to the Ray Charles song, "Hit the Road, Jack, don't you come back no more." It's the same chord progression as that. Fabulous for improvising too. But here we are at grade 1 level, introducing a little finger snap and some blues in this too. This is Gabby's Gig, written by Gabriella Keys and myself. It's a grade 1 version available through Remarkable Music.
Here's a piece called Gabby's Gig. I wrote it with one of my students called Gabby. She came up with the ostinato in the left hand, and I wrote the right hand. It's a great little duet piece between teacher and student, or between two students, or the student playing it as a standalone piece. It's in the key of A minor. Hope you enjoy Gabby's Gig. Gig, available through remarkablemusic.net. Till next time, see ya.
So tonight we've had a look at tactile action. We've looked at 9 different pieces tonight, actually a few more than that, and just to see how we can incorporate these various different finger snaps, taps, claps, and other tricks, cobra punches, thigh slaps, and incorporate those into our compositions to make them a lot more fun, to teach students to realize that piano playing is not just about the keyboard, but it's a whole body experience. It's a whole body learning experience. And that can make things quite intriguing for people. So, yeah, I hope you've enjoyed some of the samples. There's a whole heap more that I've got in some of these albums as well, utilizing other tricks too in how we can compose pieces to make them just a little more attractive for our young learners. If it's okay, Eddie, I might just share with our participants tonight, just show you my website and show you how you can navigate the website through there, if that's okay. And so I'll just share my screen with you. And where's my website gone? Interesting. Okay. Wow. Okay. Much. I had it set there just a few minutes ago. Okay. Here we go. There it is there. Yeah. Okay, so my website is entitled, it's called Remarkable Music. So Remarkable Music is all one word, .net. And so if you type that in, or you'll see that in the chat, and this is the page for remarkablemusic.net, and you'll notice that there's a hyperlink called New Remarkable Compositions. There's also a hyperlink to Wirrapang, BlackRock, and Sheet Music Marketplace. These are 3 different publishing houses that publish some of my works. You can click on, say, Wirrapang, and there's a couple of dozen albums in there, and you search through, and they range from preliminary through to about grade 5, grade 6, AMEB level. BlackRock Music is where there's another 9 albums, and tonight we've seen the video game Madness, and we've also seen The Wide Brown Land, and we've also had a look at Princess Suite also this evening. So another album here called Superhero Sebastian and the Global Challenge. This is where he saves the ice caps and also saves the sanitizer, which is quite relevant today. So that's, so that's the Remarkable Music site and the BlackRock section, Sheet Music Marketplace. And if you go back to the top hyperlink here, New Remarkable Compositions, you'll see that since June this year, you'll see a whole host of scores available there. And you can scroll down. Actually, Postcards from Australia is a lot of fun. These are preliminary and grade 1 pieces. It's got the platypus, it's got the wombat, it's got the koala, it's got the kangaroo, it's got the emu. It's got a lot of Australian animals and a lot of fun for young students to play, and introduces them to the great Southland called Australia. A new album here called The Chase, which is a fun car chase one. My youngest daughter, Emily, just had a baby 12 weeks ago, so I wrote an album for her called A Little Nightingale Lullabies, guaranteed to put that baby to sleep that doesn't want to sleep. And just this week, I've launched Music for the Heart and Soul Opus 2, and there's 9 pieces in here. So if you click on any of these hyperlinks, there's always a video, some samples of the scores as well, so you can see what the scores are looking like, and then possibly have a look at a video of those as well. So that's a quick look at the remarkablemusic.net website. Yeah, there's quite a few possibilities in there for you. Thank you, Eddie. I hope our participants have enjoyed that this evening or morning, wherever it might be. I think in Canada at the moment it's just before sunrise. Rest of Australia, most of us are going to sleep in Australia now, or have been asleep. Back to you, Eddie. Back to Mr. Panda Piano.
Hi, Mark.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Yep. I can hear you.
All right. I apologize for the internet connection. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much for the wonderful presentation, Mark. It was absolutely really amazing music, as suitable as remarkable music, right? As your name, Mark Matthews. Really, I really enjoy to listen this fantastic music, and I think everyone give some comment here in the chat. It's really, really cool. Yeah.
Great. Oh, that's nice.
I'm very sorry. I cannot. Sorry, I cannot see my normal screen. I'm sorry. And
oh, is it because I'm still sharing?
are you sharing the screen?
Sorry. Yeah. Sorry, there you go.
Okay.
That was my fault.
Okay.
I got rookie error.
Sorry. Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. So now, thank you so much, Mark. That's marvelous.
Thanks everyone for your comments. That's really lovely.
It's always fascinating watching you play, Mark.
Thanks, Mary. That's very kind of you. Most of the time I don't know about to do
Oh,
anyway.
goodness. I apologize one more time. Sorry. Can everyone listen to my voice?
We like your voice, Eddie. We like to hear you.
But I lost the screen suddenly. I'm so sorry. And I need to check. Where are you, Mark?
I'm here. I'm still here.
Oh, great. Good to see you back. And this time is already so late for you, and we are actually borrowing your time for sleeping. But we are really thank you for your wonderful presentation, wonderful music. I think everyone here already listened, and I think they will be inspired by your music. So at the last session, we are going to have a question and answer, right? If anybody would like to want to say something here, you have any questions, just feel free to open your mic, probably, or you want to have a talk with Mark directly. That's gonna be great. So use this wonderful time to ask anything about composing music. So here's the time for you. If you'd like to have any question.
Just don't ask me to play because it's midnight.
Yes,
Just on midnight.
exactly.
I will have people in the street coming to carry me away if I start playing.
Unfortunately, our time is not really.
Well, actually, I can actually now say to you, it's Thursday here. It's just clicked over into Thursday, the 28th of October. And let me just say, while you're thinking about your question, it's my daughter's birthday, Emily. So she's the one that just had a baby girl a few months ago. So I can say happy birthday to my daughter.
Oh, happy birthday. That's wonderful. Yeah.
So her name is Emily. And in Australia, we have a piece I wrote for her when she was a young girl called Emily's Etude. And that is in our syllabus here. Actually, I've got a copy for you. So this is what our Australian syllabus looks like. And in grade 4, actually, if you look through this book, there's Gershwin, there's Mozart, there's Bach, and you go, wow, all the great composers. And then you go, in the middle, you go, who's this guy? Who's this Mark Matthews guy?
Wow.
The piece called Emily's Etude I wrote for my daughter, and it's now being Thursday the 28th, it's her birthday today. This piece goes through 11 key changes, just for fun.
Wonderful. Maybe I start to ask something about how do you start your journey on composing piano? I mean, what inspired you to be a composer?
My compositions are subtitled Piano Solos on Life, Love, and Friendship. And I say to people, when you're having a conversation with a friend, or you're out and having a bushwalk, or you're on the beach, or just part of life with your family and friends, listen to the music in their voices. Listen to the music in nature. It's there. It's waiting for you to hear it. And I just feel that what I'm able to capture is I can translate how I'm feeling up into my head to sound like music. And so I respond to nature, I respond to friends, and I respond to loving relationships, and I respond to experiences and circumstances, and they can be sad ones too, yeah, not always happy. Life today, yesterday I attended a funeral for a lovely lady, and she had a great life, but it's still sad, isn't it? So music can be sad. In fact, sometimes, as Elton John says, sad songs say so much, and they can say more, perhaps, than a happy song can say. And so it's about I think it's about being in tune with your emotions. And then I have to say this, you've got to know your scales and you've got to know your chords. Without those, you have to be a genius, and I'm not. So I need to know some chord theory, and I need to know my scales and modes and understand the interrelations between key modulations, all those basic theory things we learn, and then add with that some creativity. This is why my music's also called music for the heart and soul. And it's about the heart, which is the emotions, yeah? And the soul, I believe, is the thinking capacity. It's that part of us that can reason and calculate, because music's mathematics as well, isn't it? So it's a combination of your head and your heart working together, I believe.
Wow. Very nice. So touching. I found that your music is really peaceful. When I listen to the Spotify, it really calms my heart, my soul, as the title of the album itself. And yeah, I think we come up with a question here. We
I have some question. Can I
oh,
ask you?
right. Fabiano, welcome.
Hello, Mark. Your composition song is very interesting for train the rhythmic sense for piano student, I think. The first, and Mark, I read your biography before. You taught the organ from Yamaha, right? And your student win the competition. I'm also taught the organ and electron student. But my question is, the first is, how do you teach composition to middle level students when they interesting in composition? The first, and the second is, how your process to making a song? Do you play it first on the piano or writing first? Thank you.
So the first question, just revise the first question. I missed a little bit of that.
The first question is, how do you teach the composition to middle level student?
Yep. So the middle level students. Yep. So
Yes.
you've taught
Maybe
them the basics.
grade 3 or grade 4.
Yeah. So you've taught them all those basics, haven't you? So they've learnt their scales, and now, they're interested in learning to compose. So what I do is I teach them a relationship between all the notes of the scales and what chord will go with that note. I'm tempted to play, but if I was to play, say, C major, the C note can have a C chord, the B note can have a G chord, the A can have F, the G can have a C chord or a G chord. And I show them how the scale degrees each have a chord that relates to that note. And this comes back to Mozart. When he was young, they said to him, Mozart, how is it that you write such lovely music? And he said, I just find notes that like each other and put them together. So I think that's, Fabian, showing the scale and the notes relating to the chords, the primary chords. First of all, just show them the primary chords. And they go, oh my goodness. So every note in the scale has a chord or maybe a couple of chords that relate to that note. And if they start practicing that, and then you get them to randomly play different notes in the scale. So rather than just playing the scale run, play 1 to 5 or 1 to 4, 1 to 6, and see what chord goes with that. And before you know it, they're starting to create something that's on the way to composition. If that makes sense to everyone. And then the second part to your question is, what comes first? Do I write it? Or it depends. Sometimes, actually, if you read this book, I kind of explain it in this book, The Power of Why 25 Musicians Created a Legacy, Wrote a Legacy, Composed a Legacy. And I feel it's about sometimes if something's happened in my life and I can feel the music's in my head, I come to the piano and it's sitting there waiting for me on the keyboard. Other times I've got to dig. It's a bit like digging for gold. You've got to spend some more time and experiment with things. So I'll tend to experiment, Fabian, with a melody or a chord progression, a chord cluster. And then once I feel I've got a pattern, I'll record that as a video so I don't forget it, because I'll forget it. It's like, I think music comes like a wind. You know, if you don't catch it, it's gone. So I record as a video and have a look at it and build up software and start scoring that. Yeah, helps. Yeah, I'll just share a screen which is that Eddie just mentioned. So you can find my music on Spotify. And please help me increase that from 119 monthly listeners. Yeah, so you'll find there's quite a few albums there. And 4 volumes, and I'm about to launch a 5th one in the next couple of weeks, actually. And each of those albums is a track. And you'll find most of those pieces are the more ones. None of my tactile action technique pieces are on Spotify. So, yeah, these are more the relaxing. They're quite meditative and soothing. Hopefully can put you to sleep if you're having trouble, you know, with those nasty night thoughts that we sometimes can have. So, yeah, just look for Mark Matthews. It's a double T in Matthews. But watch out, because there's another guy who's a gangster rapper. It's not me. His name is spelt the same. So just go piano solos, Mark Matthews. Fabian, I hope, does that answer your question?
Yeah, thank you for answering my question, sir.
Yeah, I think that first part about taking the scale and putting the chords with each note is a really good start. Hello, it's your baby.
That's cool, pretty cool.
Beautiful.
Yeah, this is my daughter.
Lovely. What's her name?
I see a question here in the chat box. Would you consider making all of your compositions available as studio listens? It's such a relief to order everything.
Yeah, making them available. Yeah. Would you consider making all of your compositions available as studio license? It is, yeah, sure. Look, it's a good question. I have contracts with Wirapang, and Wirapang, the advantage that Wirapang have is that you can purchase single scores from them or the entire album. So if there's just one piece you like, you can get that through Wirapang, but they don't have the studio licensing. However, with my self-published works, they are studio licensed, and with BlackRock also are studio licensed, but you have to buy the entire album. If, by the way, if any one particular song has caught your attention tonight, you can send me a message through Facebook and we could possibly sell that to you as a single entity.
That's cool. Hi, everyone. Are you still okay? So, any more questions, please? Feel free to ask. Use this time for learning new things, composing. This is, I think, this is not as easy we think, right? Composing is I think the hardest part in music making.
Yeah, look, we could do another session perhaps in the future and look more specifically at the basics of composition. Tonight we've certainly looked at the tactile action technique components. But yeah, I'd be happy to discuss at another time, the basics, and maybe continuing on with that question answered to Fabian, we could even look at that and see how we create harmonies with a melody. And I think once students start to see the harmonies that fit the melody, wow, that's composition. That's what it's about, finding that like each other, putting them together. Even finding notes that don't like each other, like it works. Yeah, we can.
Right.
We can.
Oh, pretty cool. I was impressed by your music. It's really colorful. Especially you can put more feelings into the music, right? Whether it's happy, sad, and it's also available for all backgrounds. I think everyone here can have new resources. That's pretty cool to have your music with us, right?
Yeah. Look, it's been an honour to be with you, Eddie, and I wish you all the best too, and everyone who's been part of this tonight. Let's be frank. Music teaching is a wonderful engagement, isn't it? It's very exciting to be able to educate young minds with music, because we know the value of how it can improve our lives, and can actually help in these difficult times with emotional and mental health. Music is music therapy. Every lesson you teach can be like a music therapy session with your students. And I know for me, I go to the piano whether I'm happy or sad, and it's my music therapy. I say to my students, can I just leave you with this thought? I say to my students, if you're feeling sad, go to the piano or go to the instrument you play, and whatever you play into the piano, it's like you're sharing your hurts and your emotions or your joys. And the piano, like the very best friend on the planet, keeps those secrets and never shares them with anyone else. But the piano then, once it takes all that hurt from you, when you walk away from the piano, something has happened and changed your heart and has elevated your mood and has made you almost forget what it was that was troubling you before you visited the piano, your best friend. So it could be a guitar, it could be the flute, it could be a violin. And these instruments, I really believe, can be your best friend if other friends perhaps haven't been so friendly.
Exactly. I have a little bit question about your composition. Do you compose only for piano, or do you have another type of composition?
I'm in a band with some old high school friends, and we write for bass guitar and drums and guitar and voice. I write a few songs for voice. I'm thinking of an album I've written. It's going to be called Silly Love Songs from the Heart and Soul. And I've written a few more orchestral pieces as well. And what's interesting, when you compose a piano piece and then start thinking about adding orchestral voices around that, that's a whole new realm of composition. And seeing how the violins and the flutes and the oboes, double bass, drums, how they fit in around the structure of the piano. And so my Spotify pieces tend to have a lot of orchestration around them to just add some more mood and ambiance to the composition.
Wonderful. I'm waiting the question for the participant here. Hello, everyone. Any more questions?
Oh, we've got a giveaway yet, haven't we?
Yes, that's the thing that we'd like to share. If there is no more question, uh, probably you can just announce how to win the giveaway, right?
Drum roll.
Drum rolls.
Technique. Here's the question. The question is, the first person to type in the chat the correct answer will have themselves 1 hour session with myself on any
Wow.
composition you'd like to talk about. Okay?
Wonderful.
Now, so here's
everyone ready? Just make sure you're ready to open your chat.
Yep.
Then ready to answer the questions.
All right. So the question is, first person to type in correctly, it's got to be the correct spelling. The name of my music mascot. What's his name? Who's going to be the first? Whew. Now, Pauline, I'm sorry, my dear, because you're part of my forum. Qualify you. So, who's next?
Fabian. Sebastian.
Fabian. Fabian and Sebastian. They go together. That's meant to be.
I
Fabian.
think they were a friend.
There you go, Fabian. You have won yourself an hour.
Right.
We can talk more about that question you asked.
So, we got the winner.
Yeah.
We got the winner here, right? Who's the first time is Fabian, right?
Yes.
So Fabian is the winner of the giveaway.
Sorry, Pauline. Pauline's one of my admin forum colleagues. She's a lovely teacher in Canada. And she's a great supporter, and like Marianne and Margaret, teach a lot of my composition. So fabulous. I really appreciate her very much.
Oh, yes.
Well, Fabian, you and I again.
This is the farthest way.
Fabian,
Thank you.
We'll have to work out a time that's suitable. What time is it there for you, Fabian?
Now 8 p.m.
8 p.m. So you're 4 hours behind me. Okay.
Yes.
Let's find a time that will be suitable for your family, and we'll talk about that. We've got each other's details, or I can go through Eddie.
I already at your Facebook, sir.
You've got your piano already open. We could just start now, really, couldn't we?
That's gonna be so late for you.
It is a bit.
By the way, is that only one giveaway, or do you have another? Just a question. Ooh.
Okay. Okay.
Everyone here very excited too.
The first person who can city that I live in will get a half-hour session. Okay. So who can type in the name of the city that I live in? And you've got to spell it correctly. It's a tricky one. It's an Indigenous First Nations name. Where do I live? Where does Mark Hughes live? How do you spell it?
Anyone would like? Come on, guys. Type here.
How do you spell Wollongong? Wollongong.
No one wants to type here the answer? Hello, everyone.
Everyone's just shattered that Fabian's won the first prize, I think.
Let me type. Oh, Fabian again. Come on, we need another person here. So many, 35,000 people here. Come on. Hi, everyone. I have your... Okay. So, Fabian again.
He's trying to 1 hour. half hours.
7 hours. Mhm.
Sure. Absolutely.
I
Yes.
think everyone here learning piano, right? Anybody who are learning piano at the moment, or you are a teacher, piano teacher, or music lovers, can you say something? Anybody would like to speak here? Just feel free. We're gonna use the rest of 10 minutes, so we're gonna close at 8:30. Any more questions?
Pauline has
A quick question.
Would you consider showing a lesson with a student? Would you consider showing a lesson with a student? Oh, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, like a masterclass. Mm-hmm. I could consider that, yeah. I'll put that on my to-do list. You should see my to-do list. Oh, look, it's gone right down the hallway. It's so long. Yeah, with a student. Okay. Yep.
Wow. Cool.
Pauline thinks I'm not busy enough. Sure. Okay. Well, Eddie, I can hear the sound. Do you know who the Sandman is?
Sorry?
Have you heard of the Sandman?
I cannot hear you clearly.
Have you heard of the Sandman?
The Sandman? What do you mean?
The Sandman, yes. It's a mythical person that comes along and sprinkles sand in your eyes so you go to sleep. I can hear him. He's knocking on my door.
Oh, sorry. I got what you mean. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Eddie. Thank you for this session tonight, and thank you, Mark. And
Yeah.
It's been lovely seeing a few faces. So nice work. You got through all your little technical bits, and I think everyone got an enormous amount out of it. So well done, and thank you very much. And
Thank you for coming, Pauline.
I think all the Australian contingent now just packs up and goes and have a little sleep.
Yes. Yeah, we really thank you, and we actually completely understand what your time is really late.
Recorded, yes. So if we want to, we can go back and watch this again. Yeah.
I think we can just set up for the next time. Right. Thank you so much for today's webinar, and we would like to thank you for the wonderful speech presentation by Mark Matthews. And we do hope for the next event everyone can join again, and stay tuned for the information. You can just find out from our social media at Panda Piano Course. So here again, I would like to thank you for all the participants here, wherever you are. I don't know, you're coming from every corner of the globe. So excited to have you here tonight, and we actually do really sorry for the internet connection was so poor, unfortunately. And yes, if you'd like to know about composition, just find out on Facebook page of Mark Matthews, and then you can find anything like books. And one of the inspirational book is The Power of Why, that we came up together as an author. That's really cool. And it's not about that title, but we have 5 titles for all this kind of book, The Power of Why. So please visit this on the Amazon. Just type in Amazon, The Power of Why, musician. So everyone, thank you so much, and hope you guys enjoy this wonderful session, and looking forward to seeing you in the next event. Thank you so much, and see you again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye, Eddie. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Sweet dreams.